It's just such a pleasure to all be together. When I think back about our journey on the Beonair Forum, we started this program in March, and we've had two guest speakers each month, and the guests have really provided us with so much wonderful industry experience and knowledge and a place that we can ask questions. And we're so glad to kind of bring things to a wind down with you, Shamika. I'm just going to talk a little bit about who we are, and then I'm going to turn the floor over to Phillip. So welcome everybody. If you don't know me, if you haven't met me by now, my name is Linda Lejeski. I am the National Employer Relations Representative for the Beonair Network of Media Schools. We are 7 media schools located as Ohio Media School, Cleveland, Columbus, and Cincinnati, Illinois Media School, Chicago, and a suburb, Lombard. We are Colorado Media School in Denver, and then the owner settled on Miami Media School when he found that beautiful hotspot. We didn't have to say Florida. We knew where we had arrived at. So we have a 37-year legacy of training emerging talent in all areas of media, and we continue to grow, and we invite you to join us and to get to know us a little bit better if you're not already connected to us as a student or as an alumni. Our goal is really in this program is about networking, providing information, and really giving you that intimate opportunity, if you will, to learn from a pro, to be a pro, and to be able to ask questions. And I think tonight, well, I don't think, I know we're in for a big treat. If you are joining us in real time, we have muted everybody's microphone. Your cameras are off except for our guest and for our moderator and for me for the time being. But when we get to our Q&A, we'll have an open mic opportunity. But in the meantime, as we're moving through, if you have any questions, please use the chat option, which is at the top of the screen, and we will be moderating that as well, because truly it's your questions that bring this all together and make this so worthwhile for everybody. If you're joining us on YouTube, welcome. We're glad to have you. We have a whole library of these Beonair webinars available to you up on YouTube. And of course, we'd like to say, please like and subscribe and join us on that journey. In January, just a little side note, we are going to be launching the Beonair Network of Industry Professionals. That will include our alumni, our business partners, and industry pros interested in continuing to grow. There is an opportunity for a media program very similar to Master Class that you can learn a tremendous amount of information through. It's called Media Digital Media Now, and many, many perks, but we'll get into that later. For now, we have a very exciting guest, and that is Miss Shamika Cotton. She is very well known in the industry. She's been part of the industry for over 23 years now. Her most recent credits include The Equalizer, P-Valley Stars, very, very popular show P-Valley. She's an entrepreneur, a producer, a business person, and she is bringing to us a really exciting opportunity at mentorship and internship. And I'm going to let her talk more about it, but what I want to say is her passion for development, emerging talent development, runs so deep. And she's very serious about what she speaks about. And she, while it's good to laugh and have a good time, this is a serious business. And she's going to unpack what her program looks like, which I know many of you are joining us because you're very excited at this opportunity. Phillip Bufford is here with us to talk about these opportunities with Shamika. He is an industry professional and our very own career service director out of Cincinnati. So this dynamic duo, they're going to be beautiful, exciting, and I'm going to turn the floor open to the both of you, and I'll rejoin you as the hour comes to a close. Have fun, everybody. You're in for a good time.
Wonderful. What a wonderful introduction.
All right. Well, everybody, welcome to the Beonair Forum. My name is Phillip Bufford. I'll be your moderator today. And we have Miss Shamika Cotton, and a couple of things just to give you a forecast of what we're going to do. About the first 15, 20 minutes, we're going to let Shamika talk to us. In the next 15, 20 minutes, then we're going to pivot from learning about her, what she does, and all the things that drive her to be who she is, to her internship program. And then the last 15, 20 minutes, we're going to open it up for Q&As. If you have any questions or comments, please, by all means, put them in the chat, and we'll pivot every now and then to make sure that, we get your voices heard where we can. All right. With that being said, let's jump right into it. Shamika, how you feeling?
I am doing really good, really excited to be here, really grateful. Just want to give a great shout out to Linda, Huda, you, Phillip, John, Daniel, and Tracy. Thank you all for making this night possible and just for getting it all coordinated. So thank you all for having me.
Absolutely, my pleasure. So let's jump right into it. Tell us
Yes.
about tell us about how you arrived where you are currently in the industry.
Well, I didn't know you were from Cincinnati. I'm from
So
Cincinnati too.
you from Natty?
I'm from the Cincinnati.
All
Okay.
right. So now, question: I'm
Yes.
not from here. I live
Oh,
here
I
now.
see. Oh,
I live here
okay.
now. So,
All
but
right. Right.
yeah. So
You
where in the
welcome
Natty
here.
are you from?
Madisonville.
Okay, okay, okay. I have to GPS my way there, but I've been around.
Yes. Madison Road. I'm sure you know Madison Road is very long.
It is.
But yeah, that's where I came from before I went off to college. But so it's such a great question. How did I get to where I am in the industry? And where I am in the industry right now is that I am in the entertainment industry, but I didn't. My college training is actually engineering, right? I have a bachelor's in manufacturing engineering that I got from the Central State University in Wilberforce, Ohio. Um, so that is my collegiate training. But how did I go from collegiate, engineering to being in the entertainment industry? Well, I've always been very fortuitous to be a part of some really great programs, to be a part of some really great communities, always in like the right place at the right time. And I think it started out with me getting accepted into the School for the Creative and Performing Arts. We call it Performing Arts. And that, for those who don't know, that is Cincinnati's version of fame. It's a very it's a highly selective school, very rigorous training program. They start training from the fourth grade all the way up to the end of high school so that you can be prepared to work in the arts professionally. And so that was where I got my training. That's where my creative pedigree started. But by my 10th grade year, I had started to want to do something else, because when you're in that program, you can only do the arts. You can only audition, take your lessons, perform, and take your classes, but you can't play sports. You can't do things like have a job. And that's what my friends were doing around that time. And I kind of wanted to do what they were doing. So after my 10th grade year, we toured Europe performing, doing musical theater. My focus was drama, musical theater, and flute. And so we toured Europe for a couple weeks. And when I came back, I decided I wanted to go to a school that focused on academics. And so that's when I transferred to Withrow High School, go Withrow Tigers. And I discovered I was really good at math and science. And I joined Withrow at a time that was just in the nick of time to be a part of a program called the Inroads program. Do you know about the Inroads program? Or for
Yes.
those who don't know, the Inroads program, it's a program that prepares, it starts with you in high school, like your junior and senior year, and it prepares you for college and career readiness. So every weekend we would go to these classes and workshops that taught us about how do you interview, how do you behave in a meeting, how do you function in corporate America. And the piece de resistance was that you got a chance to, at the end of the program, your senior year, you would have an opportunity to interview for an internship program, for an intern with one of their partnering companies. And it wasn't guaranteed. Just because you did those 2 years in the program, it didn't mean that you would get an internship. And so I interviewed and I won an internship program. And my first company that I interned with it was called US Shoe. Then it became 9 West. So I did my first summer before college. I was interning. Okay. And that's important to know, because when I changed gears again, it's because I went so hard and kind of was like, there's got to be something else. So I interned, I went to Central State University, I majored in manufacturing engineering. I had another internship opportunity with Ross and Perina Company, which I stuck with for my whole college career. And that's the company that makes dog food. And so, or pet food. They make more than dog food, but Purina. And so I went every summer to Davenport, Iowa, and I would work in the office, and then sometimes we'd have to go into the plant. And I remember one summer that I was there, maybe my junior year or going into my senior year, I was standing in the break room looking across the parking lot at the plant. And if you're an engineering management intern, you have to wear like steel-toe boots and like khakis and a button-up and a bump cap. And I remember looking across the parking lot like, there's got to be more to life than this for me, right? Now, that is a great career for who it is for. But at that moment in my life, something else was speaking to me. And so while I was there on my last summer, I started taking acting classes. The acting bug came back. And so when I came back to school for my senior year, I started to look into local acting classes around the city, because I had finished a lot of my core requirements early, so I had some extra time. And so also that Christmas break before graduating, I took a visit to New York City, because Tracy, who some of you have met, she had moved here the year before and invited me to come visit. And once I came to New York, I knew, like, I'm going to turn down this really huge offer. I had a huge offer coming out of college from Ross and Perina to go. I'm going to turn it down, and I'm going to go and pursue acting. And so that is pretty much how I got there. I started in the arts, went to engineering, and then came back to the arts.
So how did you navigate as you got started? Because that's a huge shift to go from being a manufacturing engineer with Purina with a huge offer.
Mm-hmm.
And just so that people can understand the risk that you took before you answer the question that I asked.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have permission to ask, how much did you turn
Absolutely.
down to go into acting?
Well, it's not going to seem like a lot because that was 23 years ago.
Okay, well, we'll do the math change.
Okay, calculate this. It was about $50,000 coming out of college.
And that's 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're looking at about 70.
Yeah.
So basically, if it was today, you walked away from roughly about 70,000 coming out of college to go into
Yes.
acting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thanks for that calculation.
Want to put that in
But yeah.
context. Want to put that in context for everyone that's listening. So walking away from a $70,000 offer, translated in today's time, to go into acting, how did you navigate as you got started?
Well, one of the first things I knew I needed to focus on was training, right? Training, and also, and I'm always a part of some type of community. I'm always looking to be a part of other people who are into what I'm into. And one thing that one community that I joined in the beginning was this publication called Backstage. Every week they would put out a newspaper, and you can find out about all the auditions going on, anywhere to take acting classes, photographers, and they even had a website where they had a bulletin board where you can connect with a sense of community. People who had been here were answering questions and things like that. And so I found a place to study. I knew studying was going to be very, very important. But then also I had to use what I was good at, which was my business sense and my marketing sense. And so when you think about my resume, now my resume it was pretty empty because I just had stuff from like high school. And so I had to figure out creative ways to market myself so that I could stand out when I was going out for those auditions. And because my internships and knowing how to maneuver all of the apps and stuff at the time. The software at the time, it wasn't apps, it was software. I knew how to make my stuff look real special and stand out. I've always had like this marketing and business mind. And so I always approached it from my strength, which was as a business. And so I would keep a database of all the casting directors that I was meeting or that I would submit to. I would keep a database of all the people that I wanted to meet, so that I can target them, so that I can get into meetings and network. And then also what was important to me that I found out was I did say education. So I started studying with Mary Boyer, she was my acting teacher for a very, very long time. But before I found Mary, I realized that in what you learn, because remember, well, you won't remember this, but I was the first person in my family to really go to college and to graduate. So imagine coming to New York and then you find out that in order to be successful, or a lot of people who were successful, they attended this thing called Ivy League schools. I had no idea what that was, but I was like, well, shoot, then I'm going to do it because that's the kind of person I am. I'm like, if this is what it takes to be successful, this is what I'm going to do. And so, I sent out for those catalogs to get information, and it came back and I saw how much money it cost to go to those schools. And I was like, is that the amount for the whole year? And they were like, no, that's for a semester, for a quarter. And from my upbringing, my family, where I came from, that did not seem possible. I had no idea. I mean, now I could figure out how I could have gotten it. But from where I came from, I didn't know how I was going to get that kind of money. But what I did know how to do, and what I decided I was going to do, was that I was going to take all of those catalogs and see what were the classes that they were taking at these Ivy League schools. And so I made up my curriculum through the different streets of New York, the studios here in New York. And I took whatever they took. If they took movement, I took movement. If they took diction, speech, I took that. If they took Shakespeare, I took that. If they took technique, I found places to take all those classes. And so, so yeah, that was something that really helped me. It's so funny because people come up to me today, and I've had experience where they're just like, right, but what school did you go to? Where did you train? Didn't you go to Yale? And I was like, no, I didn't. But I've had so many opportunities that people get from going to those prestigious colleges. But yeah, that's kind of been my thing. I've been very resourceful. And when I set my eye on something, I can figure out how to get it.
How important is that? How important is it to stay focused? Yes, how important is it for you to stay focused? How did you do that?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think my ambition kept me focused a lot because I was always like, I wrote down my goals. I always had a goal. And even if it wasn't the ultimate goal, like right now, series regular, strong storyline recurring, right? That wasn't my goal at the time. I had no idea that I could even want that. That's a whole nother story. But I had little goals in the beginning, right? And so I would set these goals, I would write them down, and I would go after it. And sure enough, as I'm going after the goal and I'm achieving it, I've got another goal. And so I think that my ambition drove me and kept me focused. And then I think there's just also been a kind of grace in my life that I've been able to rebound and to regain focus in times where I might have lost focus, or someone came into my life and helped to guide and direct me. That's kind of been the running theme. So yeah.
So speaking to that point, when someone coming into your life, did you have a mentor?
You guys, I did not have a mentor. I didn't have a mentor. All I had was my beautiful line sister, Tracy, who let me come stay with her. And then I had to create everything just, from doing research. And I learned in my acting class, as you would know, well, you need to go see this show and meet this person. I remember, though, because having a mentor is very important. And that's why I created my program, because I wanted something that was what I would have wanted for myself. But for me, when I was changing gears and pivoting to come to this, I needed to see examples of that I could do it. Now, mind you, 23 years ago, there was no social media, there was no Instagram, right? And when you think about programming out there where I could see myself in programming, that was far few and in between. So I was very starved for examples that told me, because I'm leaving this offer, that I could do it. And so I remember before I left school, I had found this production company called Rainforest Films. And Will Packard had started this production company while he was on an internship at FAMU, him and his friend. And they did, I think, Chocolate City, and they've done a whole lot of other films. But what got me was they were engineering majors. So I was like, okay, they were engineers and they made the transition. Then I saw that Terrence Howard he has an electrical engineering, so he made the transition into entertainment. So I was always looking for examples of people who had kind of done it. So I didn't have a direct mentor, but I was always looking for examples.
That's key. So, and I love that. And we're going to talk about your internship program in about 7 minutes.
Sure. Okay.
What did you find to be, and before I even ask that, because I heard you say, you said your line, sister. So tell everybody what sorority.
Because you guys want to know.
You got to say.
I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so she's a Delta. I gotta show you love because I'm a Sigma, so gotta show you love.
Love it. Yeah,
so,
thank you.
You're welcome. So, what did you find to be most beneficial as you were starting your career in the entertainment industry? You transitioned, you've got the training, you walked away from $70,000, you looked at all of the Ivy League schools and saw what they were doing, you created your own alternative to your education, and now you are in the gate, you are through the door. What would you say is most beneficial with that experience?
I think the most beneficial would be, and I already mentioned it, but I'm going to give you a great example, is to have a goal and to write it down. And I say that because, and I have my journal as proof where I did it. And especially this is December. We're about to enter that time of year when you start thinking about what your resolutions are or what your goals will be. And I remember because I didn't go to grad school, I was like, I need to be taken serious as an actor. And from my research and observation, in order to be considered a serious actor, I had to get on Law and Order, and I had to do regional theater so I can make my way to off-Broadway and Broadway, right? So I wrote down, I want to be on Law and Order, and I want to do regional theater. Cut to, I am a Law and Order trifecta, which means I've been on all 3 Law and Orders, invited to come back on other episodes and other franchises. I've performed in regional theater around the US. Now I'm at a point to where I have to, because of my goals, I have to turn down some offers. And a lot of those regional theater productions were originating roles. So like when you go get the play and you're going to see who was the original cast, it's going to be me, and that's such a wonderful, a proud moment to have, when you think about where I came from. And then I've also now have been on Broadway, well, off Broadway. I haven't done on Broadway yet, but that's coming. But I've done a couple about 3 off Broadway shows now, and a lead in 1, well, maybe lead in 2 actually. So it's really important to write it down.
Write the goals down, set them and achieve them. Love it.
Yeah.
So what has changed? And are the doors still open to someone who is just starting out?
Oh, I love this question, because what has changed and are the doors still open? And I look at that from 2 perspectives. One, you can see it from, there are more doors, right? There are more opportunities. right? Because back in the day, not too long ago, there were only three major networks: NBC, ABC, CBS. And those doors had gatekeepers that you had to get to give you permission to give you the deals and things like that, right? So there are more doors. Or you can look at it from this perspective: there are no doors, or there's a door where there's nobody there. It's just waiting for you to walk through it, because we have so many more opportunities now. We have cable deals, we have streaming. You think about people like Issa Rae and Quinta Brunson and Tyler Perry. These are people who created their own paths. They created the opportunities. They let the industry catch up to them, right? And then they came looking for them. And so you all know I was on P-Valley, and the showrunner for P-Valley is Katori Hall, who won a Pulitzer in 2021. So she's amazing. She's amazing. But I bring up a play that she wrote that I got a chance to see a few years ago called Hurt Village. And in the play, Hurt Village is kind of like a projects or a low income place neighborhood. And one of the main characters, her name is Cookie, and she's a young girl, and she's doing this science experiment where she has a cup, and in the cup there are fleas, and on top of that she's got like clear plastic wrap, right? Now, the reality about fleas, and this was an experiment that Katori elaborated in her story, the thing about fleas is that a flea can jump probably 10 times as high as the cup to get out of the cup. But what happens when you put that plastic on top of the cup? The fleas jump up, and then they start to hit their head, right? So then they get into this place where they program themselves to not jump that high, and they won't jump that high to hit the plastic, right? And so they've kind of gotten into like a comfort zone of not bumping their heads. So what happens is you take off that clear plastic lid, right? And those fleas will not jump out of the cup, even though they can, but they're stuck in their comfort zone. And what's really interesting is, but what happens when you introduce a flea who never did the experiment? So you put a flea in there that knows they can jump. That flea goes in there, jumps out. The other fleas see it, and now they're like, oh, then I can do it too, right? So when you ask me the question about, are the doors open? It's like, y'all, there's no lid here. There's no door. Like, go jump. It's so many more opportunities. So
Fantastic. Love it. Love it. So what advice would you give? And after this, then we're going to transition into your internship. But what advice would you give to everyone that's listening right now? And right now that's listening live, and those that are watching by YouTube?
Yeah. The best piece of advice that I can give you is one thing that has double meanings, though. It is an inside job. It is an inside job. And I'm going to start with the external version of that. What do I mean by that? Inside job. People like to hire people that they like to work with. People hire people that they know. It's about relationships. So remember, you have to get out there and network and cultivate relationships, and be kind, be professional, be the kind of person that someone wants to hire and then rehire, or to recommend or refer. That's what it's all about. And then when I say it's an inside job, I mean the work that you're doing inside of yourself to develop the kind of character that lets you have a career that is 23 years or longer, right? You have to do that inside work, that character development. And there's this really wonderful saying that says that your talent, because everybody here is talented, you're getting wonderful training, right? But there's this thing where your talent can take you to places where your character cannot sustain you. And what that means is that you might have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have the character to sustain the opportunities, maybe you self-sabotage, or maybe you're just, are you mean, or maybe your character is that you don't really believe in yourself, so you don't show up fully, right? So do the work on the inside, right? That means getting confidence. And if you're not confident, then practice, because confidence comes from practice competency, right? And that's how you gain your confidence. So commit to doing the inside work.
Love it. Love it. So right now we are at the top of the hour. It's 7 o'clock right now. You are listening to Shamika Cotton give you the keys to the kingdom. So this is how you get it. So what we're going to do is we're going to pivot. We're going to open up Q&A in about 14 minutes. But before we do that, so for all of you, before we get into the Q&A, I want to say this right now. Be thinking about your question. When we give you the floor to ask your question, introduce yourself, ask your question, and then stop talking so Shamika can answer the question, so we give everybody enough time to ask their question. So right now, if you want to ask Shamika anything, think about the question. Write the question down. So when it's your time to ask the question, it'll take us 60 seconds to ask a 5-second question. All right. So with that being said, we got that. Shamika Cotton is in the building right now, and we are going to talk about your internship program. With that being said, Shamika, you've got control of the screen.
Okay, let's see. I need to share my screen. Let's see, how do I do that? Can you hear me?
Yes.
No.
So what
Okay,
you'll do is you see the share button right next to the leave. It's that very next button right next to the leave. Top right corner.
My screen doesn't look like yours. Okay, let's see. I have a share tray. Nope. Let's see, more actions. No. Okay, let's see.
If you go to the teams, how many screens do you have? 2 or 1?
I have 1 screen.
So go back to the teams screen, and then you'll see the button that says leave, that red button. Right next to it should be the share button.
No, I don't have a share button. I'm on a Mac, by the way. So our interfaces may be a smidge different. Okay, so give us 1 second, you guys. We're going to figure this out.
Phillip, you got any insight on that?
Yeah, I don't have a Mac, so I don't know. I'm sorry. I do know that I made you a presenter, so you should have all the access that that me or Phillip have. Worst case scenario, you could always share it with one of us, and we can share our screen. I know that.
Okay.
That's hard because I like to have control too, but.
Can you share a PDF?
Yeah, the one that you sent for the internship?
No, that's a different one, but I'm going to send it to you right now.
Sure.
This is the one that I was going to send for you guys to share later. So this is great. Let me see. That's not it. I think that this is it.
Are you sending it via email?
Yeah. Okay. Let's do a reply all. And I believe that that's the thing. Yeah, and I'll just say next slide. We'll do it that way.
Okay.
There's always a workaround.
So as you send it out, open it. Right. I just received it. It says I need access. You send it via Google Drive?
I'll tell you, Google Drives. There was a funny joke about that. Like, if I sent it, then they have access. I guess because it was so big. Sorry, you guys. Give me 1 sec.
Shamika, while you're doing that, for those of you that are listening, you should have received an email from John Gerard about the internship program. I do believe that's different than what what Shamika's gonna share right now, but it does talk a little bit about the program, how it's outlined and some of the opportunities. So make sure to check your email and look for that PDF.
Shamika, did you see I sent you a request?
Yep. Anyone with link, try it again, see if that worked. And I'm going to do it again here. Anyone with link. Okay. And then you said you sent me a request of some sort.
Yeah. They didn't let me in. There we go.
Yes.
We are in. So I'm going to share my screen.
Okay. And I'll just say next and then we'll be good now. Yay. Thank you guys. All right. Let's take it out of this view and make it a full PDF so that we can make the page fill the screen.
Did it fill the screen?
Mm-hmm. Do you have Acrobat on your computer so that you can download the PDF and then open it? The download button right over there to the, yes, download that. Then you can do open that way. Go to your download, the three dots. Yeah. And then go to your downloads folder. Oh, where's your downloads folder? Because it went to your downloads folder. There you go, downloads. There you go. And then open.
There we go.
Great. Let me just maximize that. All right, that's cool. You guys get the gist. Okay, so my company is called TenTen Talent and Creative Services. You can go to the next slide. And so basically, just quickly, what is TenTen Talent and Creative Services? It is my company that I use to, where I use my gift or my talent of storytelling to help companies tell their stories. And I use that talent to help them expand and deepen their audience engagement and the impact, right? So, for example, you guys know that P-Valley, I worked on P-Valley. So P-Valley and Stars would be considered my clients. They hired me, one, as talent, where I used my acting skill to tell the story. But then what I did in terms of creative services, I produced 2 high-end VIP screenings in Cleveland, where I rented out a venue and had people come to engage and talk about the show and watch the show and network, which increased their audience engagement and awareness about the show. And then also what I created was this really great entertainment product called Conscious Conversations. And that was a show that I did every week. And every week we talked about the episode of that week and we talked about the themes of the story, but we did it from a metaphysical perspective. So the tagline was deepening the conversation and expanding consciousness. So we did this every week. And so that was a way for us to increase audience engagement in the conversations about the show, which ultimately helps keep the viewership up and helped us to be a hit and to get renewed for season 3. So that's the gist of what we do. Next slide, please. All right. So what is the TenTen Talent Internship Program? I call it the T3I program. And so the T3I program is my way of giving back. It's my way of being service. One of the core values of the company overall is to be of service. And when you are of service, that's where you start to experience, increase. You grow your skill set when you use them. You grow your relationships. Everything grows when you can find a way to be of service and to give back. And so the internship program is an 8-week program, and it has sort of 2 components. You have the component that helps the interns learn, and there's mentorship, there's leadership development. And then there's the component where you work on actual projects with the company. And when I created this program, I thought about all the people who wanted to have access and exposure to the entertainment industry and they didn't know how to get in. They wanted a way to like, well, how can I do what I want to do? And then I think about the times where you may have experienced it or someone you know may have experienced it, where you want to go get, you've got all this training, right? And you want to go get an entry level job, but they say, oh, but you need experience to get the experience. The great thing about this internship program is that we are set up to give you experience that you can use to help you get to that next level of your career. So that's why it's really important for the people coming into the program to know, what is your goal? What do you want to do? Because what we're going to do is create a program, a curriculum, because that's what I do. I make curriculums that get you to where you want to be, right? We create a curriculum that's specially curated to get you to where you need to be. So say, for example, maybe you've tried to get into a program and your application got denied, or there's a fellowship you want and you got to have certain projects that you've worked on. I want to know that so I can create a program so that the next time you go apply, you'll get that. Or the next time you go to a networking event or you go to work for one of the companies that you'll be working on with me, you can say, oh, I worked on this really cool project. You have something to talk about. You'll have receipts. It won't just be projects where you're shuffling paper around. You'll be like, I worked on this project and here it is. And before we get into the different categories, another thing about the program, so we talked about the learning and the mentorship and the assignments. And let me just tell you really quickly about how it's structured. So every week, you will meet with me for a 2-hour work session. And in that work session, we're going to do a check-in and see how your week was going, what's going on in your life, how are your goals. We're going to talk about the book that you'll choose to read for the 8 weeks. The book that you'll be reading, we'll be talking about your journaling that you'll be doing. And then we'll also start to talk about, okay, so this is your project that you're working on this week. And then maybe you need training to know how to do that. So I am going to share with you, I'm going to train you. I'm going to train you to be able to do those projects. I'm seeing, okay, there you go, got it. So I'm going to train you to be able to do those projects, and then I'm going to give you a project to go. And by the end of the 8-week program, you'll have focus on a very specific project that you'll be able to present. You'll be able to have it as a part of your portfolio. You'll be able to get a letter of recommendation from me. So it's really, really wonderful. So what are the categories? These are the categories. We have business communications and public relations, short film and digital media, brand research and development, marketing strategy, art direction, production design, teaching and educational arts, and then acting and storytelling, of course. So, one thing to know, all of these categories, you will be creating or producing creative products that I can share on all of our media channels. And one of our main media channels is social media channels. So you will be producing product for those channels. So you do need to come with a certain level of technical savvy, but I don't think that's going to be a problem for anyone here because you guys are well trained and equipped. All right, next slide. So for those interested in the business communications and public relations, so this category is going to deal a lot with messaging, communications, and relationships. And so you're going to work on projects that focus on communicating our company's brand message, right, to our audiences across all of the platforms. And you're also going to be helping out with PR duties, like preparing me for interviews, doing research on media outlets that I have to speak to, creating press materials and talking points. But a lot of writing, fun writing, creative writing, professional writing. So if writing is your gift, I would love for you to consider being an intern in this category. As you see, the technology will be the same for everyone in terms of Canva, CapCut, and Instagram. If you don't know a technology that is here, but you have a willingness to learn, I'm an amazing trainer. I will teach you what you need to know. So don't be shy about that. And this category is really great for people looking for careers in public relations or business communications and things like that. Next slide. So our next category is our really popular category, short film and digital media. And in this category, you're going to work on short form storytelling for digital media. You're also going to be working on repurposing and remixing existing marketing collateral. That would be video, pictures, audio, and you're going to use those things to create new works. And you'll also be collaborating with our marketing team, which is really exciting, to create stories and other digital products that will help support the advertising campaigns for our brand partnerships and other clients that we have here in the firm, including my upcoming shows, which you'll know once you sign the NDA. And so this is great for filmmakers, digital media marketing and sales. So that's that one. All right, the next one. This is a really fun one. Like, I love all these categories. I mean, I did create them, but I really, like, I would have probably tried to intern in every category. And that's the great thing. Because it's 8-week cycles, you can always come back and do another category or do the same category, but a different level. The projects increase, and it's only 3 levels per category. Okay, so this is business research and development, marketing strategies. So you're going to be working on doing a lot of research. You should have a knack for social media analytics or be able to research those kinds of things and to report it. And because you're going to be working on developing marketing strategies and engaging digital media campaigns and initiatives that help grow our partnerships with our selected targeted brands and our collaborators, right? So like I said, you'll have to be able to research, understand metrics, and be able to follow marketing trends so that we can create advertising campaigns that expand our partnerships. And so, yeah, this would be great if you want to go into a career of marketing or advertising, or maybe that's not the career, but you have a knack for it and it's fun for you. Come join us and you can see the different technology that we'll be using for this category. Next category. And I'm just breezing through these because I know you guys are going to have a lot of questions. So I'm just giving you a little high level. This category, art direction and production design, this is for that production assistant or someone who loves to ideate, create ideas and create concepts and stuff like this. So this person is going to assist with all phases of production. So that's pre-production, in production, post-production, for any projects that we currently have going on here. So for example, we're currently in pre-production for a brand shoot. And so this brand shoot will include video, static or still photography, behind the scenes coverage, and this really wonderful part that I'm excited about. It is social media trends. Now that's different from analytic trends. Social media trends is really fun because I want to know what are the current video trends, audio trends, and challenges. Because we'll need to incorporate that in all of the projects that we work on. So if you have a knack, like you always know what's cool and what's hip on social media, and you love to like plan a project and you're organized, and you just like to be a team player, this would be a great internship category for you. And also, if you're looking to being a producer, an associate producer, get used to doing this kind of stuff because you're always going to be supporting, well, as an associate or assistant producer. And I'm sure Tracy can tell you guys more about that. But they're going to need lots of ideas and lots of support. And you have to be a team player to kind of move up in that field. So this would be a great opportunity to get some experience that you can talk about and say that you did that. Next one. The next category, teaching and educational arts. And so that's going to help me with the curriculum that we're developing and help us to document that curriculum and all of the supporting material that we need for like our classes that we offer, workshops, and speaking engagements. So if you are a teacher or you love creating curriculums and creating documentation and making it look good, or you want to do e-learning curriculums, this would be a great opportunity to jump in and to work on those kinds of projects and then be able to show that you actually help create some curriculum that's actually out there being taught. And the last category is, of course, acting and storytelling. So this is for the actors. And in this category, you're going to be working with me, of course, doing acting exercises. We're going to be exploring various acting techniques. You're going to run lines with me. You're going to get insight on how to develop characters and the business of being an actor, and also auditioning techniques. You're going to get all of that. And also you'll get insight on my philosophy in terms of being a storyteller. And so this is something that I really wish that I had, because I remember I would see people that I looked up to that were actors, and I just wish that they would have invited me in on their process just so I could sit and watch and learn, because I know once I learn it, I can do it. So this is a great opportunity for an actor. And so if any of these are of interest to you, just send us an email at info@tententalentacs.com. Send us your resume and let us know what category or what categories you'd be interested in, and we will get you set up with an interview. And that's it. Yo, we are doing so good on time.
All right. Can y'all see me?
Yeah, we see you. We see you.
All right. Woo, we are moving. All right, so now we've got 9 minutes before this forum is over with, which means we only have 4 minutes. Let's say 5. We've got 5 minutes for Q&A. So remember, everybody, I told you, think about your question, write it down. When we call on you, you don't have all day to talk. Say who you are, ask your question, stop talking so Shamika can answer your question. Shamika, we're going to put you on 30 seconds so that we can get through as many questions as possible. So what I'm asking everybody to do right now, if you know where the hand up button is, hit the hand up button. And what we're going to do is we're going to start calling people when their hands are up. We make sure you have your name ready. Make sure you have your question ready, because we are going right now. Kyrie Grant, you've got the floor. Say your name and ask your question. Kyrie Grant.
Kyrie, are you muted?
Are you muted, Kyrie?
Unmute
All right.
yourself.
So let's go to Walter Martin. Walter Martin.
Someone said they're all muted, but I'm pretty sure I gave them access. Let me check real fast.
Let's go. Let's see. Let's try Walter. Let's hit Walter Martin.
He's still muted.
He's still muted?
Oh, no, maybe not. All right, come on. Somebody. Anybody.
All right. No Walter? Can you see?
Ants in the pan.
All right.
Ants in the pan.
Let's go with Jana Rice. Janaya. The Janaya Rice?
Hold on. All right, try again. Try again.
There we go. We got you, Walter. Go ahead. Ask your question.
We'll come back to you.
This is Janaya Rice. I have my question ready.
Go for it.
Greetings, everybody. I'm Janaya Rice. So the question I wanted to ask were, how were you able to navigate into the industry after undergraduate?
So how was I able to navigate? Well, that was when I got involved in communities for learning. I started studying, yeah, that's when I talked about, using my marketing skills to make sure I could stand out, but really getting involved with communities, learning communities, and creating relationships. So find folks who want to do what you're doing, your classmates, collaborate. That's the way to go.
All right. Walter Martin, you got the floor. Walter Martin.
Hey, how you doing, Shamika? It's CJ. Question for you. So with all of the things that you're offering, is it possible to do more than one at one time, or do you just do one for the 8 weeks and then come back for another one?
I would recommend you do one at a time. Do one at a time, because trust me, you're going to have a lot to do. You have to do your reading assignment, your journaling. There's e-learning material that you're going to have to also watch to support you and help you grow. I think your hands will be full with the one, but come back and do another one.
Sarita Johns, you got the floor. Sarita Johns.
Hello, Shamika. I'm Sarita Johns. I reached out to you before. I just wanted to let you know that I did send my resume and my everything to you. So I'm just waiting for the interview date.
Yes, they got your resume and they're going to be sending them out probably, I think, tomorrow.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Right. Edith Rodriguez.
Hello, I am Edith Rodriguez. My question is, I've seen you in everything. You're amazing. Let me get that out right quick. But my question is, this is my only credential is the schools of art. Am I still have to go through the program before I can start the next program with you, or can I do it while I'm in the program with media? How would that work?
Yeah, you can do it. And that's what I forgot to mention. It just requires about 20 hours per week, and you have to keep track of your time. So if you have 20 hours per week to spare along with while you're doing your program there, sure, come on.
All right. Kyrie Grant, or Kyrie Gantz, I'm sorry.
It's Gant. Hi,
Gantz.
my name is Kyrie Gant. I just want to say first, I love your energy.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. What inspired you to help others? Because some people, they learn those type of skills and then they just take off. And what inspired you to want to help others that don't have that type of
Yep. I remember how it felt to desperately want someone to show me. That's a one of my emotional chords, is someone just please show me how to do it and I can do it. And that's just a part of who I am. So of course I create something where I can show others. That's my heart.
We got 2 minutes left. Shannon Stevens.
Hey, my name is Shannon Stevens. I just want to know, how did you learn to remain consistent in your acting career?
You got cut up. How did I maintain what?
Your confidence to remain consistent in your acting career.
Right. That is definitely a grace, because there are times when it wasn't, but you have to develop that's that inner work. You know what I'm talking about? So I've got a lot of things that I've been through that got me to where I am today. And so that's what I'm sharing when we're doing that mindset component. So so that you don't have to go through all those ups and downs that I had, we're going to get that steady and consistent, because that you got to be consistent mentally in order to be confident. Yeah.
T.A. McLeod.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm so honored. Oh, sorry. I'm so honored for this opportunity. You did a very great job in P-Valley. I just looked it up and I confirmed. I saw your face. I was like, oh, that is the wife. So my question is, do you have a cap on the total number of positions?
Right. Right now, we can do one. It's not a cap. It's about 6 people at a time. We'll say 6 at a time. So that can be more than one in one category. So it's about 6 at a time. That's about the most I can do in an 8-week cycle because of the 2-hour one-on-one stuff.
All right. James Young.
Hi, my name is James Young. The question I had for you as far as gaining mentorship, because I come from a town that really isn't focused on as far as like digital media and short films. Like the colleges that they have to offer were only as far as documentary based, and that wasn't something that I was looking forward to. And I was just wondering, could you kind of like basically show like how you were able to find your mentors and see which direction that you were trying to go as far as storytelling and things of that nature?
Right. So I didn't have them early on, but what the interns will have access to are people, my friends and my colleagues and myself as a mentor. And then you'll learn how to find mentors as you go on your journey. But that's what I can share in the program is I'll be one of your first mentor, and then I'm going to direct you to mentors that are specifically in your area. And CJ, you can tell them about the person I told you to reach out to. that's specifically for your area of cinematography. So, yeah.
All right. Well, we are out of time. I know there are more people that want to have questions, but we are out of time. Shamika, how can people get in touch with you?
Y'all can find me on Instagram as Shamika Chronicles. So that's SHAMIKA and then Chronicles, CHRONICLES. I'm going to head over there. So if you guys, I'll go live for a little bit. If you guys want to come over and ask some more questions, because I hate that I see so many hands up, and I'm available to answer some more questions. But thank y'all so much, and I look forward to you guys reaching out.
All right. With that being said, Linda, we turn it back over to you. You're muted. You're muted, Linda.
That's a little problem we all have when we get excited, right? We knew this hour would absolutely fly. And, I think one of my favorite things about you, Shamika, is you are so humble and down to earth. You are so driven, but you are so honest in everything that you share. And I can speak from my heart, for some of you, you were on the webinar with Tracy Potts, who is a good friend and sister. We'll call her a sister to Shamika. And CJ, who jumped on for a second, has been mentoring with Shamika and doing projects with her. And how fortunate we are. We've got this gal from Cincinnati who went to New York, who built a career and is here with us, students and alumni and anybody who's really looking to grow. It's a serious process. I know we laugh about a lot of things, but if you're driven and you really want to make things happen, then you have to really speak it, put it out there, speak it. And you are so blessed because you have somebody and all of her network that really want to bring you in and show you how you can grow. It's mutually beneficial. They grow, you grow, but honestly, there is no price you can put on the opportunity to learn from a pro to be a pro. So I invite you all to hop over and to continue with Shamika. Again, reach out to her on her platform. She's so accessible and you've got her attention. Let her know what it is you're interested in. Reach out to career services at your campuses if you have questions. Together, we will bring you together so that you can grow. And what a wonderful holiday gift that is. Shamika, thank you so much. Phillip, you were
My
awesome
pleasure.
too. You're a dynamic duo.
Yes, thank you so much. It's been a
Thank you.
pleasure.